Hello everyone, and welcome back to Nightmares in Nature. As always, I'm your host, Mr.G. Happy Easter, everybody! As you can see, I'm in the Easter spirit. I've even come to Rapa Nui, or, as you simpletons call it, Easter Island. Unfortunately, Catherine isn't able to be with us today. Apparently the Chilean government has completely banned her family from this island ever since the egg hunt of 2006 that led to 6 people's deaths and 75 in the hospital. But that's besides the point. Eric's still here, and he is happy as always.
Are you kidding? You brought me right to where the Easter fox is hiding out.
The Easter what?
The Easter fox! He's the Krampus of Easter! He gives naughty kids baskets full of dead rabbits! Oh, and he probably wants to hunt me down! Is this because I don't believe in Easter anymore? Oh man. Why'd you have to bring me to his hideout?
Eric, this island doesn't actually have anything to do with Easter. It was called Easter Island because it was discovered on Easter.
Yeah, you can keep telling yourself that, but I'm telling you, the Easter fox is real, and he is coming to get me!
Okay, well, Eric goes on his delusional ramblings. Let's go on to today's subject. Today, in the spirit of Easter, we're talking about a creature that eats rabbits. Yeah, that might be a bit of a stretch, but whatever. Today, we're talking about the wild world of mustelids. Mustelids are a group of small carnivorous mammals. Now, despite being small carnivorous mammals, they are not rodents. Not every small mammal is a rodent, thank you very much. Mustelids consist of the wolverine, badgers, weasels, and otters. It used to include skunks too, but DNA tests revealed that they're their own group. Mustelids live all over the world except Antarctica and Australia because those two continents never have anything else. Mustelids are very famous for the fact that despite their small size, they can be very vicious predators. I'll be explaining more as we go along, so just keep that in mind. Let's start with otters. They're probably the least vicious out of all the mustelids. Now, all the other mustelids are pretty good swimmers. Otters are purely semi-aquatic animals, spending a lot of time in the water. Most of their prey is fish and stuff like that. Some of them have webbed feet, things like that. Our main talking point for the otters today will be the sea otter, probably the most famous otter. The sea otter is interesting for a few reasons. One, unlike most marine mammals, it completely lacks blubber of any kind. Instead, it purely relies on its fur to keep warm. And secondly, it actually uses tools to help feed. You see, the sea otter likes to eat things like clams and sea urchins, both of which are hard-shelled animals, and the otter doesn't have teeth designed to break shells. To make up for that, it'll pick up a rock, put it on its stomach, and then bang the creature against the rock, breaking its shell so the otter can suck its guts out. Oh yeah, also they hold their babies on their stomachs, so yeah, there's that. And they sleep in seaweed. Well, that's otters. Next, let's move on to the ones I like to call the slinkies. This one consists of weasels, stoats, minks, and ferrets. I'm not sure if there's any big relation between any of these ones. I'm just grouping them together because they all look very similar. Anyway, the weasel is very famous for the fact that it is quite the tricky little devil, isn't it? Some species of weasels just eat smaller animals like mice, but some weasels, mostly those found in Europe, are known to hunt the rabbits that live there. But the rabbits are way larger than the weasel, so they have to come up with a strategy to hunt the larger animal. What do they do, you may ask? Well, you see, the weasel will strike at the rabbit, causing it to run, and the weasel will start chasing after the rabbit. You might think this is a stupid idea since rabbits are obviously faster than weasels, but that's the thing. The rabbit may be faster, but the weasel can run longer. So they chase the rabbit for a while until the rabbit starts to tire out, at which point the weasel will tackle it, and the rabbit's too tired to fight back, so the weasel goes in for the kill, and enjoys its feast of rabbit stew. Oh yeah, also some species of weasels turn white during the winter, so there's that. Next, we got the badger and the wolverine. Now these animals are famous for the fact that they are pretty fearless, all things considered. And I guess also the fact they have claws that are great for making tunnels, but whatever. And out of all of these animals, probably the most famous for its fearlessness is the honey badger, but the wolverine isn't a slouch either. Both of these animals are famous for the fact that they do not really care about larger predators. They're not really scared of anything. In fact, according to some sources, but these are debated, keep this in mind, so I'm not sure entirely if this is 100% accurate, according to some sources, wolverines actually scare bears away. And the honey badger, notably, is not bothered by lions or hyenas. The honey badger is also famous for its incredibly thick hide, which makes it very hard for animals like bees or cobras to penetrate their skin and deliver venom. The honey badger got its name from the fact that it does like to raid beehives, and as I said, they're immune to bee stings. So while the bees fruitlessly try to scare the badger away, it just sits there licking honey off and eating the maggots. Oh, but speaking of honey, there is one urban legend relating to the honey badger that I need to address. You see, in some places of Africa, there are these birds called honey guides. They got that name for the fact that they will seek out humans and lead them to beehives. Once the bees are gone, the bird will start pecking at the bees' larvae. Now, there is a legend going around saying that they not only lead humans to beehives, but also lead honey badgers to beehives. However, despite this going around for many decades, this has never been observed. In fact, there's actually a lot of evidence against it. With the main one being that honey badgers literally do not react to their calls at all. Several tests have been conducted, and in not a single one of them did the honey badger pay any attention to the call of the honey guide. So all things considered, this is definitely just an urban legend. But there actually is a symbiotic relationship with a badger. You see, the American badger actually has a sort of symbiotic relationship with the coyote. You see, both these animals like to eat ground squirrels, but they have a bit of an issue. You see, they live underground and they're very fast. Coyotes are fast too, faster than the squirrel, but they can't do anything about their burrow. And badgers can go into the burrow, but if the squirrel escapes, there's nothing they can do since they're way faster than the badger. So, the two animals have come up with a hunting strategy to make up for each other's weaknesses. The badger will go into the squirrel's den to scare it out, and the coyote will chase it down and go in for the kill, and the two will share the squirrel's corpse. So yeah, there actually is a symbiotic relationship, just not a honey-based one. Okay, let's look at the cards. Okay, these cards have pretty similar problems to the hyenas from last time. They all seem pretty fear-mongery. I mean, it might be a little more justifiable for the Mustelids since they are pretty fearless animals and they can be pretty aggressive, but still, I don't like when any animal is fear-mongered to seem like these ferocious beasts. I'll be deducting some points from the Wolverine just for that. Can't really think of anything else wrong with it though, so yeah. For fear-mongering, you get a 7 out of 10. For the honey badger, it's mostly fine, but on the back it makes reference to the claim that they have a symbiotic relationship with the honey guide. So 9 out of 10. Stoat's fine, 10 out of 10. The mink card makes an interesting claim that I have not been able to get verified. On the back, it shows a story of a mink getting caught in a trap, so it chews its own leg off. Now that is something that other animals do, like wolves or coyotes, but I have not been able to find a single source that says that minks do the same thing. Now, I'm not completely doubting this, it does seem kinda believable, so I'm only deducting half a point, and even then that's a pretty, vague area point deduction, so 9.5 out of 10 for the mink. And our final mustelid comes from Strange Wonders, it's the giant otter, can't really find any problems here, so 10 out of 10. Okay, I just recorded this segment where I gave the stoat a 10 out of 10, except that actually after reading the back a bit more, I just realized that it brought up the theory of the weasel dance. For those who don't know, the weasel dance is allegedly something weasels do to attract prey by hypnotizing it. However, in recent years, scientists don't think that this is actually something natural weasels do, and they think it's the result of a parasite. So 9 out of 10 for the stoat. Now let's talk about human and mustelid relationships. Weasels aren't very liked by farmers since they kill chickens, but yeah, that's really all there is to say there. Unfortunately, minks and stoats have historically been hunted for their pelts to make fur coats out of them. This practice has been falling out of favor, as fur has been seen more and more as a horrible clothing thing, so yeah. In captivity, actually, mustelids are pretty rare in captivity. Has anyone else noticed that? Like, I don't think I've ever been to a zoo that's had a badger or a weasel or anything like that. I don't know why, but yeah, that's just something I've noticed. Very few zoos seem to have mustelids. But speaking of mustelids in captivity, there's the ferret, a pretty popular pet, all things considered. However, I must give this PSA. Do not release your ferrets into the wild. Ferrets are not wild animals. They are not native to North America. they will become an invasive species. The only wild ferret in North America is the black-footed ferret, and that's an endangered species. So, do not release your ferrets into the wild! Thanks for listening to that. I applaud you. Honey badgers are pretty famous, mostly because of a viral video that portrayed them as nature's cool guy. Okay, that doesn't sound right, but I try not to swear on this channel, so bear with me. Oh yeah, and Wolverines are also the namesake of one of the most famous Marvel superheroes. Well, formerly the most famous. Not being in the biggest franchise of your company will probably do that to your fame, all things considered. Well, that's all for this episode of Nightmares in Nature. I'm still not sure if I'm gonna do a 4th episode of this or if I'm just gonna go on to another series, so I'll get back to you on that. Mostly because I'm not entirely sure if I want to do bats just yet. So, I've been Mr. G. Have a good Easter if you're from a country that celebrates Easter, and if you don't, then have a great normal day. So, see you guys next time. Bye!